Wendover, Utah, headquarters for the annual speed contest, which determines each year's national hot rod champions. And out on the Bonneville Salt Flats, 6 miles away, hot rodders set up their portable equipment, preparing for a full week of straightaway speed trials over the surface upon which most of the world's land speed records have been established. The paraphernalia required for conducting these events includes such items as public address systems, steel cable for roping off control areas, and 6 miles of special plastic-coated communications wire. The portable control stands and other equipment are provided by the Southern California Timing Association, originators and sponsors of these events. Most of this equipment has been built during spare time hours by members of the association. Bright red placards, 4 feet square, are set up to indicate the beginning and end of the measured mile timing traps. Everybody chips in to help set up these events, where age is no obstacle. Extreme hardness of the salt surface is evident in the fact that holes have to be drilled for locating stakes used in setting up the equipment. It is practically impossible to drive them in. Parts are often needed to keep the cars in good running order, so this enterprising equipment dealer has set up shop right out on the salt. This convenience saved many a trip to town. Upon arriving at the speed course location, entrants line up for registration and inspection of their cars. Each competing car must undergo a thorough examination by the safety committee. Wheel lugs, suspension units, steering mechanisms, and all other visible parts are given close attention. Association officials are proud of their record for safety, and they strive to keep it intact. Pit crew members accompanying the cars usually average 4 to 5 per entry. Safety belts, fire extinguishers, and other protective items are required for all cars running in these events. Each car, after being inspected and approved by the technical committee, is okayed for competition, and an official inspection certificate is then applied. Most of the cars are transported on trailers, this one having come all the way from Denver, Colorado. Here, a busy crew installs a homemade oxygen injector on their car's Mercury engine. The sky's the limit so far as experiments are concerned, and hot rodders are eager to take advantage of the opportunity for testing their pet theories during this full week of speed timing. As varied as the types of engines are the special fuel mixtures used in these cars. Although methanol is the overall favorite, peroxide, nitromethane, and even water are used to concoct strange combinations for combustion. A surplus aircraft fuel tank provided the body for this Lakester. In preparing their modified Roadster for its trial runs, this crew makes certain that wind resistance is cut to a minimum by securing the cockpit cover with masking tape. The wide variety of cars entered in the Bonneville Nationals represent almost every conceivable body type and design. Now here's a popular body style. More than 200 cars turned out to run in the 1951 event. Of every type and description, they came from all parts of the United States to participate in this colorful Mardi Gras of speed. Traveling down the long line of cars awaiting the starting time, we have an opportunity to look at some of the many kinds of entries. With 22 classes for competition, we find Roadsters, modified Roadsters, Lakesters, Streamliners, Coupes, and even competition sedans. This was a regular field day for newsreel cameramen who attended the event. Since the Bonneville Nationals are conducted during the week preceding Labor Day, many couples plan their vacations far in advance so as to participate in the trials. On the starting line, a Roadster warms up. Officials on the stand signal that the meet is now officially opened. As the starter gives instructions to a roadster driver, the Ken's streamliner is brought to the line, ready for the initial run of the meet. Using a push start, the streamliner gets underway. A wing tank Lakester takes off. Here's the Ladybug, a 4-cylinder Lakester, ready to go. A Crosley-powered Lakester. Here's a Roadster on its way. A 32 Roadster gets off. Now a modified Roadster. Everybody is eager for that first run. This, believe it or not, was once a 1934 Ford Coupe. This streamlined Crosley sedan packs a wallop. Its power plant is a converted GMC truck engine. What's this? In addition to cars of every make and description, this year's Bonneville Nationals included motorcycles. 10 of the West's outstanding motorcycle owners were invited by the sponsoring SCTA, and they eagerly accepted. Under the sanction and approval of the American Motorcycle Association, 7 new national records were established during the week. Motorcycle Association rules, like those of the hot rod classes, require that records be determined from 2 runs in opposite directions. At the mile mark, he's well underway. One of the fast bikes reached a top speed of 158 miles per hour, fastest one-way motorcycle speed of the meet. Some classes allowed special fuels, which had to be thoroughly mixed. A 40 cubic inch Triumph clipped off a cool 141 miles per hour on this run. Well, here's another Crosley sedan. Built to compete in 2 classes, this car used a GMC engine in C class and a 16-cylinder Marmon in Class D. At the finish line, Chief Timer Otto Crocker records the speeds. Here's a Mercury-powered modified coupe. Its owner has converted the supercharger from a GMC truck engine and put it to good use. This run netted 154 miles per hour. An observation post halfway to the finish line keeps the entire 5-mile course under close watch. After setting a qualifying speed of 158 miles per hour, this driver is ready to make an attempt to set a new C-Class modified coupe record. Belt fastened and helmet in place, he starts his run. After 2 miles in which to gain speed, the clocks pick up his time through the measured mile. 2 miles beyond the finish line, an official waits for the car to arrive. Up to the end of the 5 miles, the driver swings around in a big arc to where his crew is waiting to service the car. In making record attempts, each qualified car is allowed 15 minutes total elapsed time in which to complete his 2 opposite direction runs. The crew checks fuel, water, oil, tires, connections, and engine temperature. Water is often drained at this point and cool water put in. It's a tense 15 minutes for driver and crew members. Time to go. The push truck comes up, and he's ready for his return trip. And back at the starting line, the record run completed and the course clear, a Roadster takes off on a qualifying run. This was the meet's fastest roadster. His speed, 162 miles per hour. Observers at the milepost hear speeds relayed to the start through the party line telephone system. There's plenty of stopping distance at Bonneville. A roadster driver takes time to check his rear wheels and tires before making his return record run. In spite of precautions used in assembling and running these engines, one occasionally comes apart. This one literally disintegrated. A situation like this seldom happens in these times, but when it does, there's not much left for salvaging. It means long hours of work ahead, putting a new engine into shape. Here's a roadster with homemade rocker arm heads, and it goes. These two bear little resemblance to the 1927 Model Ts from which they originate. Rear-engine Mercuries both exceeded 170 miles per hour. Cars run in the Bonneville speed trials are powered with converted American production automobile engines. Owner and driver of this car is Acton Miller, Vice President of the National Hot Rod Association and one of the hot rod sport's most enthusiastic boosters. He's on his way to try for the C Modified Roadster class record. There is absolutely no limit to the number of runs available at these meets. Here's one way to get to the subject at hand. Just tip up the body and you're ready to go to work. This car is commonly called the Anteater, a Mercury engine roadster with a huge converted supercharger setup. With the engine located back in the body, the driver sits ahead of the cowl in the long nose section. Climbing in, he is all ready for a test hop. Here's a typical hot rodder. His hand-built modified roadster was one of the most revolutionary cars in its class. So much so, in fact, that it was later protested against for the lack of a couple of inches in body width. Undaunted at his disqualification, the owner solved the situation by padding the body out to the required width using cardboard and masking tape. Back at the salt flats, the car was re-inspected and was accepted by both protesters and officials. The owner's good-natured attitude won him the Bonneville Sportsmanship Award for 1951. Throughout the week, there were numerous engine changes among the competition cars. Many participants brought their own chain hoists, A-frames, tools, and other conveniences. Most of the changes were made in nearby Wendover, but some were switched right on location, out on the salt. By testing different engines in a single chassis, many ideas and innovations were proven, and much valuable information was gained. As can be seen, most of the week is devoted to nothing but work. Actual time spent in running the cars is little by comparison. Now a Mercury-powered Lakester gets underway. Here's a GMC-powered wing tank Lakester getting ready for a run. Although it looks as if it might not support the weight of the driver, the car did very well for itself. And here's the Class C Lakester record holder. The owner is also manufacturer of much of the special equipment used on the engine. The driver, on leave from the Army, boots the car through on the two-way runs at an average speed of 180 miles per hour. Each car setting a new class record must be presented for engine inspection before its record becomes official. This regulates the class eligibility of the car in regard to bore, stroke, and total cubic inch displacement of the engine. Many of the cars entered in these events are of original and unique design. This one, for example, took 4 years to complete. Shoving off from the starting line, this sleek rear-engined Lakester is all set for a practice run. A mile away from the starting point, we pass the observation post halfway to the start of the time traps. Entering the traps, we pass through the light beam which starts the clocks on the timer stand. Continuing on, we pass through a beam at the end of the mile, stopping the clocks. This crew came prepared for business. Following the pattern set by designers of modern aircraft, they are tufting the outer surfaces of the body in order to determine the slipstream effect when the car is in motion. Running at progressive speeds of 80, 90, 100 miles per hour, the Streamliner paces a camera car from which both movie and still shots are taken for future study. This method is used to help determine whether the car's body lines are designed for proper stability at high speeds. Having completed the experiments, the Streamliner is now ready for its top speed run. Bill Kenz of Denver built the car, which is powered by 2 Ford V8 engines, one located ahead of the driver and one behind. Ready to go, driver Willie Young is determined to break the existing 210 mile per hour top speed set at the 1950 Bonneville National. With its extremely high gear ratio, this car needs a fast start, easily provided by the use of a hot rod push car. Approaching 100 miles per hour, the Streamliner's engines are started and it pulls away rapidly as it heads toward the time traps. Passing the start of the measured mile, the Streamliner streaks through the traps, bent on setting a new speed mark for hot rods. On the timer stand, officials are alert as they wait to check the time recorded by the clocks. The speed, picked up in thousands of seconds, is converted into miles per hour, carried out to 4 decimals. And back at the starting line stand, a crowd awaits the news. The speed, 230 miles per hour, breaking the all-time hot rod speed mark by 20 miles per hour. Highlight of the final day is the presentation of awards won by participants in 22 classes of competition. The Kenz car is rolled into the winner's circle. Here's a car that came all the way from Indiana. This Lakester came through at the last minute and set a new B-class record with its average speed of 163 miles per hour. This aerodynamic rear-engined modified Roadster set records in both B and C classes with 2 different engines. Its highest average was 172 miles per hour. Trophies for competition in this event are donated each year by Hot Rod magazine, which has taken an active interest in the Bonneville Nationals since the first meet in 1949. Awards of this type mean something to these boys. They've come a long way to compete for them. To keep their sport an amateur one, they rule out prize money, the only rewards being the trophies and the satisfaction that comes with proving their cars on the field of performance. By clocking its speed of 230 miles per hour, the Ken's twin Ford won the title of National Hot Rod Champion for 1951. And what about years to come? With safety the keynote, there can be no limit to the possibilities for development of this hot rod sport.